The first thing that I wrote in my notes app this week was, did British people walk around saying I love Americans when Jersey Shore came out the same way that I do with British people because Love Island exists?
Dude, where are you? Pick up your phone. I'm going to a summer party tonight, and you're obviously invited, so call me back. Okay, I love you. Bye.
What's up, you guys, and welcome back to Emotionally Online, the weekly slumber party for spilling guts and sharing secrets, hosted by yours truly, the one and only Maddie Drosbeck, and co-hosted by light of my life, my soulmate, my sun, moon, and stars, Mango the gooey girl, who is here. She's just asleep in her cat tree on top of the pair of denim that I put inside of her little home in there because she loves denim. Let us not forget it. She's a denim girl. She has taste. One of these days I will be dressing her up in the like iconic all denim Britney Spears look because I think it would be hugely fun for me and for her because she's a denim stan. No one loves denim more than Mango loves denim, unexplainably. I went and got my nails done this morning, which is a hugely calming experience for me. Some people would not think that it was because it takes so long. My nails always take between like 2.5 and 3.5 hours, if I'm being honest and real. It's like 2.5 hours minimum. And then depending on if I'm getting a design or not, that's when it can go into like the 3.5s, depending on how crazy we were getting. I've been not doing designs lately because 3.5 hours, big commitment. But, you know, sometimes it has to be done. Sometimes the creativity of the nails, I do it once a month, is worth that amount of time. But for the 2.5 hours minimum that I'm sitting there getting my nails done, me and my nail tech do not talk. We sit there in dead silence. I've been seeing her for 2.5 years. I go in every month. We sit in dead silence with each other, occasionally exchanging, pleasantries, little small talk. And for the most part, it's just me sitting there silently thinking for 2.5 hours. And it is awesome. I love my little downtime while I'm getting my nails done to just be in my brain silently thinking about God knows what. Okay, just running through every thought that I have is just my time to think. There we go. Hugely awesome. Anyways, I was enjoying myself at my nail appointment. And I think I got distracted. And I made the wrong choice. I made the wrong polish choice today. From a distance, it looks fine, but up close, I'm just not a fan of it at all. It's like these new like jelly polishes that are like entirely see-through. So they make it look like the nail is like a different color, but that's the problem is that it's entirely see-through. So I liked it on the tester nail because it was just like the like solid part. It's not like you can see when the nail goes over the thumb on the tester, but that's the part I don't like because it goes from being one color to a completely different color and I can like see everything that I don't want to see. I'm like, I want that to be hidden. Anyways, I should have known better because that's what the polishes are marketed as. I was just like distracted by it because the polishes, I guess they're new. They've never had them in my salon before, but the booklet for these polishes, at the top of the booklet, the marketing materials that this company is put out, it has like the brand name and then it says internet celebrities are welcome. And I was so taken aback by that. I thought it was so funny. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Internet celebrities are welcome. And it's just printed on the marketing materials of these polishes. And I thought it was hilarious. So I think that I was more inclined to pick one of those polishes because I was like, what? What do they mean by this? Who put this there? That's so funny. So I don't know, whatever company made these polishes, they got me with their marketing, with their confusing ass marketing. Internet celebrities are welcome. And I was like, that's awesome news, actually. And I picked one of their colors and I don't like it. Picked the wrong shade this month. It's fine. But now I've committed for a whole month. Great. Awesome and good. Oh my God. Okay. Thirst season is upon us. I'll say it. Challengers kicked it off. We're in full gear. It's time for horny season, America. Okay? Sue me. Sue me. I watched Challengers and now I've been watching so much threesome porn. Kill me. Literally shoot me on spot if I'm not allowed to do that, okay? I'm just a girl and I'm having a good time. Fuck me, okay? It's thirst season. What am I supposed to do? I'm having a good time. It is thirst season. I'm celebrating accordingly. Additionally, I have discovered queer line dancing events that are happening in New York, and I'm trying desperately to get my friends on board for the queer line dancing because I think it could be hugely fun. I think it could be hugely fun to get my tits out and go line dance with a lot of other hot queer people. I would get a new pair of little dancing boots, little dancing shoes, and I would do my little line dance, and I want to flirt. I want to flirt. Is that too much to ask for? Is giving me an opportunity to flirt with queer women because they're the only people I want to flirt with right now. Men are actually not allowed to speak to me for the next year. Only women, only queer women. So I need to go to queer line dancing, and I need to be sweaty around other hot women. Okay? Sue me. Sue me. I'd like to have a good time. Sue me. I'm going to have a good summer. Okay? Blame challengers. If you're mad about it, blame challengers. That's all I have to say. All right? Queer line dancing. So much fun. I'm trying to go. I went line dancing when I was in high school. There was this place that did line dancing. It was like a bar, but you didn't have to be 21 to go. I think you just had to be 16 to go dance. But then they'd like give you a wristband so you couldn't drink, but you could dance at this place. I think it was called The Ranch. I don't know. They played mostly country music, which I don't like, notoriously. But I had friends that went and they liked country music, and I met them through the dance studio. So I was like, sure, I'll go dance. And the dancing part was super fun. But I didn't love the crowd that place attracted, nor the music they played. So when I discovered queer line dancing that happens fucking right here in Brooklyn, I was like, don't tell me what a good time, bitch. I love dancing. But the thing is that when people are like, let's go dancing, most people don't actually dance when they say that. They're like, what they mean is we're just going to like bounce around on a fucking dance floor, which I have no interest in doing. I have no interest in that. When people say, oh, I want to go dancing, and they mean like, let's just bounce around on a sweaty dance floor. No, that's absolutely not the vibe for me. If we're going to go dancing, I want to like dance. I want to be like busting out choreography. Okay. I want to be like getting into it and doing dance battles with each other on the floor. Line dancing, hugely fun because it's the easy version of that. You don't have to come up with it yourself. It's given to you. And everyone looks hot doing it. Yeah, I feel like it could be awesome this summer. And it's just something to consider. It's something that I'm hugely considering. It's something I need all of my friends to consider because I think it could be fun for us. So much. Okay? I've been having a week. Okay? I've been just like feverishly writing things in my notes app. So I thought that maybe I could just walk through what I've been talking about to myself. Okay. The first thing that I wrote in my notes app this week was, did British people walk around saying I love Americans when Jersey Shore came out the same way that I do with British people because Love Island exists? And this is a question I do need the answer for from British people. And if the answer is you didn't do that, I'm going to need you to like run or like retraction on that and like do better and start saying that, because the amount of like British promo that I am running over here in the States is fucking unbelievable. You guys don't understand the kind of like positive PR you are getting from me specifically for the only reason being you have Love Island UK. You gave me Love Island UK, and for that, you are in my good graces as a country for like the rest of time. I feel like I have done more for the reputation of the UK than like anyone else in recent history. Put me in the books, mama. Okay? Like I'm doing huge things over here. I'm mending the America British beef single-handedly because I walk around and I'm like, guys, I love British people. Have you seen Love Island UK? I fucking love the Brits. I do. I'm a huge fan. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, is there any like reality show that's like of the equivalent caliber to Love Island UK in my mind that was produced in America that would make British people walk around being like, I fucking love Americans. It's like so American. It had to be like a quintessentially American reality show that was as good as Love Island UK. And I was like, fucking obviously Jersey Shore. Jersey Shore is on par. Obviously, I'm a huge Jersey Shore lover. I will go to bat for the show. It broke boundaries, okay? Jersey Shore did something different. And if I lived in the UK during like the heyday of Jersey Shore, if I was living in the UK consuming Jersey Shore while it was happening, I would be like, I fucking love Americans. Like I love Americans. I never feel more patriotic than when I watch Jersey Shore. That's when I'm like, and I'm proud to be an American. Like hearing Pauly D be like, Captain, I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Yes, sir. Oh, Captain, my Captain. Like I'm fully in. And so that's my question for British people this week is, did Jersey Shore make you say I love Americans the same way that Love Island UK makes me say I love the Brits? And don't say Geordie Shore don't like make it about that, okay? Because Geordie Shore doesn't even begin to compare to Jersey Shore. I've seen both. Don't try it with me. Don't try it with me. It's like trying to compare Love Island UK to Love Island US. I know that's hugely controversial for me to say, but Geordie Shore doesn't even hold a fucking candle to Jersey Shore. It was different, okay? The same way I will say Love Island US sucks cheeks. Jersey Shore also sucks a cheek. It doesn't suck both cheeks, though. It's not as bad. The difference isn't as stark, but like, come on, let's be serious and real with ourselves. You cannot compare the two. So don't even go there when answering my question. Okay, thank you. Next topic of conversation. People who fly Southwest do not have anxiety. I've thought about this so often because I've never flown Southwest and I don't plan on ever flying Southwest because I think that the mere idea of not having an assigned seat would like throw me into a panic attack that spanned like the 4 days before I got on the plane, perhaps even more. Okay. I think I might actually be having a panic attack from the moment I purchase the ticket to the moment I'm seated on, no, not even the moment I'm seated on the plane, to the moment the plane takes off, until the moment where everybody has taken their seat. Because once I sit, then I'm stressed out about everyone else sitting down too. It's too much for me. How do you people do it? How do you just knowingly inside your brain be like, yeah, I'm going to walk onto this plane with no idea where I'm going to sit? I just feel like you must not have any anxiety about these things whatsoever. To be able to book a flight where you have no assigned seat and you just have to like raw dog it and you hop up on that plane and you just scramble to get a seat for yourself, that would panic me. I like order and direction in my life, okay? The thing is that like the Amtrak trains, if you go on the Acellas, they are seat assigned now. They didn't used to be. But post-pandemic, now the Acellas are seat assigned. The Northeast Regional trains, however, are not seat assigned. And when I go home, I can either take the Acela or the Northeast Regional. And usually I will take the Acela because I like the assigned seats and just having that peace of mind where it's like I go on and I get there, right? If you have ever taken a fucking Amtrak train out of New York Penn Station, Moynihan Train Hall, if you've ever taken one, it's like the Hunger Games down there. They put the track up on the board and it's like, doo, 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 and it's like, there's like fucking 400 people that start boosting faster than they've ever been to get to this track. And I'm like, I'm fighting with everybody to get on this train and get a window seat because the window seat is also where the plugs are. Oh my God. It's too much. It's so stressful. The Amtrak is bad enough, right? But the Amtrak, at least when you go on the Amtrak and you get the unassigned seats and you just have to get on the train and raw dog, it's not as much of a process as fucking taking a flight is. You have to go through TSA. That's like a stressful thing in and of itself. Then you're waiting at the boarding gates with all these people. And then you have to like go down a tunnel, which I guess is the same thing. But in my head, I'm like, at least the Amtrak, it feels like I'm right there. I'm right there, and I didn't have to do anything to get there. I just like, my car pulled up, I walked in the door, and then I just sat there and waited for them to announce the track. And then I ran at top speed and pushed down every elderly person in my way. I'm kidding. But like the Amtrak, that stresses me out. The Amtrak stresses me out. A Southwest flight with no seat assignment, you people don't have anxiety. People that fly Southwest regularly, those are the most anxiety-free people on earth. If you want to have a peaceful ass flight with no anxious passengers, go fly Southwest, because I'm sure nobody there has anxiety. That's my hypothesis. That's where I've landed. Anxiety havers that fly Southwest, chime in down below. I saved an Instagram reel this week that I was perplexed by. It was a clip from a podcast, as it usually is. And the take that they were having, well, there's one part of their take that I'm sort of like indifferent about, and the second part of their take that I have an opinion on. The first part of their take was that birthday parties are like backwards in America. And in America, the like weight of making the birthday special falls more on the friends than it does on the individual. And perhaps in other countries, most people on their birthdays are like buying drinks for other people, not having people buy drinks for them. Like the birthday haver, the person whose birthday it is the one paying, versus other people coming and paying and giving you gifts. The way that it is usually done in the States. That was the first half of their take that I'm sort of indifferent about. And then the second half of their take, though, was to say that like the way we do birthdays in America is a burden. That birthday parties, the way we do them, are a burden on the people you love the most, which I just couldn't disagree with more. But I'll let you listen to the clip so you get the full context here. The show was called The Beauty and the Greek Show. This is what they had to say.
I do not think the way in which we celebrate birthdays here in America is correct. It does not make sense to me to burden all the people you love the most in your life to have to collectively come together, come out for your birthday, and then have them pay for a meal, drinks, gifts, just to celebrate your special day. Back home in Greece, when I was growing up, you go out for your birthday and you pay for everybody. It's like, okay, I'm organizing this whole thing. It's the celebration for my day. Let me take care of everybody's drinks. I think that's the way it's done in the rest of the world for the most part.
I think that's fair.
So half of the take I feel kind of indifferent about, which is the part that is more just an observation and like the cultural differences and how we celebrate birthdays, which I think is fine. There's no right or wrong way, right? And I think if you have the means to pay for everybody on your birthday, then like for sure do it. And like I feel like, I don't know, I host a lot, not just birthday stuff, obviously, just hosting in general. And I find that a lot of the time, most of the time, all of the time when I am hosting, I'm never asking people to like pay me for the things that I'm buying for the gathering, right? If I am cooking dinner and I'm inviting everyone over, I'm not going to ask people to pay me for groceries or for alcohol. Usually when people come to those events that I'll host, they'll bring me something. Like they'll bring me a bottle of wine as a thank you for the fact that I'm cooking this meal and I paid for everything. To me, it feels different because like at a restaurant, if you're going as a group to a restaurant, you're all choosing what you want and like opting in to whatever you're paying, versus if I'm inviting people over for like a dinner that I'm cooking, nobody is there to like opt in or opt out of the financial choices that I'm making when I'm planning the menu and deciding what we need to make it special. right? It's me deciding everything, so therefore I'm the one opting in to what everything costs. And yes, it would be cheap if I asked everyone to split it, but ultimately it's like, this is my thing. I'm making all the decisions. I'm not going to make other people pay for that. This is like my gift to them. I'm hosting. This is my treat. This is fun for me to do, and like my way to show love to all of the people that I invited to said event. Birthdays are different though, because birthdays are a direct celebration of the person. Yes, we do end up planning our own birthdays a lot of the time, especially if you're single. I think if you're in a relationship, maybe you end up having your birthdays planned for you more often. I don't know. But it's like, yeah, I'm planning the whole party myself, but it's a party for me versus like my other hosting things. I'm hosting for my guests. Birthdays, it is about me. It should be about you on your birthday. Absolutely. I think it's wild to say that birthday parties are a burden, and that like asking for the people that you love most to like come together and celebrate you on your birthday, saying that is a burden is so lame to me. I just feel like we're already living in a time where people feel afraid to like, I don't know, lean on their friends and ask their friends for like support and encouragement and celebration, because they're like, everyone's got their own lives and their own schedules, and I don't want to be a burden. So many people are worried about being a burden. So I hate this take that like birthday parties, a sweet, innocent celebration of life that we all do. The fact that the idea that asking your friends to celebrate you would be a burden it's just like a lame take to me. Because also, I don't think that birthdays, nobody's saying for my birthday you have to drop a fucking band on me, right? For someone's birthday, it's like, can you write me a card? Can you be thoughtful? Can you sit here and spend time with me? Like, it's not a burden to ask people to come celebrate with you. But also, I don't know, maybe they've got wild friends, the person that said this, and their friends are like, for my birthday, we're getting bottle service at this fucking high-end club, and everyone's splitting it with me. Where like, I would never do something like that. I would never make like extravagant birthday plans and expect my friends to be all in. Or actually, this is a perfect example. The last 2 years for my birthday, I've gone to a spa on my actual birthday, and it's an expensive thing to go to a spa for a full day. No doubt. And both years I have just said like an open invitation. I've posted on my Instagram close friends and I'm like, this is what I'm going to do on my birthday. I'm going to do it alone. But if any of you guys would like to come, I would love company. So that way, if people want to come, if they have the means to join me, they can. And if they don't have to, because I would be happy to do it by myself too. And that to me is like, a totally acceptable way to do a birthday, is to be like, this is the thing I want to do. This is how much it costs. If you can swing it and you want to come, feel free. If you can't and you don't, also doesn't matter to me, because I will go by myself and have a good time. It's not about money. Birthdays have never been about money. Who said that? They're not. It's about giving people your time and thoughtfulness and celebrating someone you love. If a birthday is a burden to you, I feel like that's not your friend. Like, if any of my friends said that coming over to my house and singing happy birthday to me was a fucking burden, I'd be like, you just don't like me that much. You know? I don't know. I get the sentiment, but I guess I'm just not in the school of belief that money has to be so like explicitly tied to like a successful birthday. I also don't think that's what most people want on their birthday. Like, yeah, paying for a meal, gifts, drinks does happen on birthdays, but if you didn't do that, I don't think the birthday haver would be offended in most cases, right? Most people on their birthday just want a fucking card and your time. Just come hang out with me. If we're going to a bar, you don't have to buy any drinks. You can get a fucking Coke. You don't have to be going in on cocktails. I don't give a shit, right? If I'm planning a birthday dinner and maybe I want to go to an expensive restaurant and you can't afford that expensive restaurant, if any of my friends were like, I can't swing it, but I'd love to hang out with you at some other time during the week and celebrate you one-on-one, celebrate you at home, let's have, make dinner together, I'd be like, that's so awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Let's do that. It's not about, it's never been about money. I think maybe for some people it is. Maybe you're just hanging out with the wrong people. I just don't like the idea that like birthday parties in general and like the like celebration of a birthday is in itself a burden. I think the money aspect can be a burden if you're friends with unreasonable people, but I think for the most part, if you're friends with normal, reasonable people with their heads screwed on about them when it comes to like being respectful of other people's finances, that is never going to be a problem. Because all people want on their birthdays is to feel like remembered and loved. That's it. And that's free. So I don't know. Birthday parties are not a burden. Go all out for your birthday. I think everybody should celebrate their birthdays in as much of an extravagant way as they want to. And you just can't expect that everyone else is going to meet you at that same financial level. But I think you can expect that people show up emotionally and like enthusiastically for you on your birthday. Absolutely. And it's not a burden to expect that. And that's that on that. Today's episode of Emotionally Online is sponsored by Care Of. Have you been taking your vitamins? Be honest. Nobody lie to me. Have you been taking them? Have you been remembering to take them? Not to flex on all of you, but I've actually been doing pretty awesome in that department lately. It's been hugely awesome to see me remembering to take my Care Of vitamins every single day. If you've never heard of them, Care Of is a health and wellness company that ships personalized vitamins, supplements, and powders straight to your door every single month. Don't know what vitamins are best for you? Well, that's kind of the whole point of Care Of, is to help you find out which vitamins are best for you. All you got to do is take a short quiz on their website that'll ask you a little bit about your health goals, and they will match you with the proper supplements and vitamins that would be best for your routine. You can take those recommendations. You can also modify them, add in supplements and vitamins that you're already taking, and then they ship them on over to you in a 30-day supply in the cutest little daily packs with your name written on them and a little quote for the day. It's hugely fun. I do enjoy it. I've been a customer of Care Of for years now. I started taking them when I was in college. It's got to be like 2017, 2018 when I first started taking Care Of vitamins, and they've been awesome just to get me the vitamins and minerals that I need in the cutest little packs that make it slightly easier for me to remember, and they're also great for travel as well. So if you're interested in trying out Care Of, you can get 50% off your first subscription when you go to takecareof.com and enter code emotionallyonline50. That is 50% off your first Care Of subscription when you go to takecareof.com and enter code emotionallyonline50. All right, let's do some audience submissions, shall we? Shall we dive in here? Shall we dive in and start eating and devouring these submissions? If you didn't know, there is a submission box where you guys can submit anything and everything that you want to into the submission box, and I will maybe talk about it on the show. Advice requests, am I the asshole? Internet topics you'd like me to touch on? Pfft, listen, anything and everything is welcome here. This is your show as much as it is mine. Hey, Maddie, love the podcast. I feel like I know what your response will be, but I had to ask anyways. Love this. It sounds dumb, but I think the bear versus man debate might break things off between me and the guy I've been dating. We've been dating for over 2.5 months, and I brought up the man versus bear debate. I said I would choose the bear, and he couldn't see that perspective at all. I tried to explain it to him, and he just wouldn't get it. I brushed it off as not a big deal. It's just a hypothetical anyways. It came up again recently, and he said there was a higher chance of being struck by lightning than being killed or R-worded by a man. This sent me off a bit, but I tried to use it as an opportunity to educate. I sent him some statistics, and he said, that's a screwed stat. Everything is R-word nowadays. At this point, I was mad. He said we should drop the conversation because no one wins, and told me not to take it shut the fuck up. Told me not to take it so seriously. I told him how dismissive that felt and said that I needed time. I know I'm probably not overreacting, but we had the conversation over text, and some part of me feels like maybe I'm taking it the wrong way, and maybe it's not as serious as I think it is. Just for context, other than this, he's been practically picture perfect and super understanding. He's been the most kind and respectful guy I've ever dated. He does have a bit of a crude sense of humor sometimes, but nothing too concerning. His sense of humor is the main reason I feel I may be overreacting, like maybe I missed some sort of context over text. Nope. What do you think about this situation? How would you handle things? So I had to look up what the bear versus man debate was because I am not really on TikTok anymore. So I have not heard of this. So if you, like me, had not heard of the bear versus man debate, basically people were asking women if you would rather be like in the forest at night with a bear or a man. And like which was scarier, basically. If you had to choose, which one would you pick? And a lot of women were picking bear. And I started watching some people's response videos and back and forths about all of this, and I felt like people were kind of missing the point. Like when people start actually getting into like, oh, here's some bear statistics for you, I'm like, well, you're missing the point completely. The point is that the same way that most everybody might go into the forest, and if you saw a bear, you'd be a little nervous. Oh, what's he going to do? Is this bear going to try to attack me? Is he not? Like, what's the deal? You're going to be scared of a bear. The same way that you might feel scared of a bear in the forest is how women feel when they come into contact with men in secluded areas at night, whatever. The point here is not to go in and debate, like, what is actually safer, a bear or a man? The point is to highlight the fact that they feel that men are more of a threat in their day-to-day lives than bears are. Which is the truth. So to go back and forth on this just feels like you already have missed the point. If he's going to really go back and forth with you about this and say, can't see the perspective at all. Like, what do you mean you can't see the perspective at all? Do you and I live in the same universe? Do you and I live in the same world? Clearly he doesn't, because when you said that he said that there was a higher chance of being struck by lightning than being killed or R-worded by a man, that told me everything I needed to know about this guy. Oh my God. I mean, has he ever listened when a woman has spoken his entire life? Does he have a brain? What the fuck? I'm sorry. This guy sucks. Your boyfriend sucks. You shouldn't have to try to educate your boyfriend on why sexual assault is a prevalent issue and fear among women. If any man listens to women talking about the like fear of sexual assault and gender-based violence, if any man hears a woman talks about that and their reaction is to get defensive, run. If a man hears you speaking about these topics and his reaction is to get defensive and be like, men are not that bad, no, I don't know anyone that do that, no, men. If that is their reaction, you need to get away as soon as fucking possible. That is an absurd reaction. Any normal dude, any normal fucking guy would be able to hear this conversation, is able to hear conversations about sexual assault and gender-based violence without trying to minimize the problem in some way. I mean, that's absurd. If you're a normal, well-adjusted person, you just call out shitty behavior when you see it. You don't defend it and say it doesn't exist and fucking gaslight women into being like, no, you actually shouldn't be afraid of men at all. Men are not like that. You're more likely to be struck by lightning. Shut the fuck up. No, you're not. Oh my God. What world do you live in? If you as a man get defensive when you hear stuff like this, look inwards. And if you're in a relationship with a man that gets defensive about stuff like this, I would reconsider. I mean, the fact, if anybody is going to say like that, oh my God, if you're with someone who's willing to say that's a screwed stat, everything is R word nowadays, I mean, what more is there to say, really? That's not someone that you want to be around. That doesn't sound like a safe person to be around, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't think that men like this should have access to women. That's how I feel. And I think the reality is that some people can hide the fact that these are their beliefs, that they are super fucking misogynistic and toxic. A lot of people can hide this for a while. So that makes perfect sense to me why you felt that he was practically picture perfect and super kind and respectful up until now. But he just showed you. He just told you everything you needed to know in terms of how he sees women, and how much he cares about the safety of women. He told you everything you need to know. So no, you're not overreacting. And a lot of people have a crude sense of humor that are not misogynists. This guy just sucks. That's like, these are insane sentences to say to real human women that you are claiming to care for. This is insane behavior. And I do not believe that men like this deserve women. Don't take it so serious. Don't take it so serious. Isn't that not the point of this whole debate in the first place? To highlight how serious it is, that this fear is so prevalent. If you've ever had a conversation with any woman ever, this is something they think about often, way more than they think about bears. Like in my day-to-day life, how often am I fearing bears? In my day-to-day life, how often am I fearing men? Yeah, often. And to be a whole grown adult man that doesn't get that and can't take it seriously and is then going to flip it around to be like, yeah, R-word statistics are wildly overblown. It's actually not a big deal at all. I cannot understand your perspective. Shut the fuck up. So no, you're not overreacting. And yes, I would break up with them as soon as I learned this, because there's no world where I, as a woman, want to be intimate with a man that cares so little about my safety, to the point where he believes that it's basically a fable and a fallacy that bad things even happen. More likely to be struck by lightning, babe. I could never feel understood by someone like that. I could never feel safe with someone like that. Yeah, I'd quite literally rather be alone forever than be with someone like that. That is bottom of the barrel to me. Can't get much worse. A misogynist that basically thinks sexual assault is made up. Awesome. Yeah, we need to get rid of him immediately. What a fucking loser. At least you know, right? But yeah, there's no coming back from that. Dear Maddie, first and foremost, I just want to say that I absolutely adore you and everything that you stand for. You've been such an outlet of comfort, relief, and liberation for me since I discovered your content a couple of years ago, and I just want to say thank you for giving lover girls like myself the permission to wear our hearts on our sleeves so loudly and proudly. You're one of the reasons why I finally felt brave enough to do what I'm about to tell you. I'm currently in a period of trying to move on from someone who I consider to be my soulmate. This person has been a really good friend of mine for a few years. He's the first person that I've ever met, I'm 26, that I feel like really sees me for who I am. We both have identical interests. We love the same music, a big thing and a rare thing for me to find in another person. And whenever we're in a room, we naturally gravitate towards each other. All we do is laugh and have fun together. I've never met someone who completely mirrors me and feels like an extension of myself. It's hard to explain how deeply and viscerally I feel for this person. Whenever they walk into a room, my heart feels like it's burning. It's such an addictive but miserable feeling. Anyway, as you can probably assume, I've really fallen head over heels for this person. However, I kept my feelings quiet because we were such good friends and in the same social group. I didn't want to cause any disruption to that. However, things have happened between us. One night, he kissed me. We flirt with each other nonstop. We lock eyes every time we're in a room. We always sit next to each other. We're like magnets, and a lot of people have noticed it and commented on it too, so I know it's not all in my head. I recently went solo traveling for 8 months. I had travel romances with quite a few people, but none of them compared to him. I missed him so much. I promised myself that when I came home and saw him, I would confess my feelings for him and tell him exactly how I feel. So that's what I did. But sadly, I didn't get the reaction I was daydreaming about for so many months. Instead, he told me that he loves me, but he's not in love with me because he mentally doesn't have the space to love anyone. He cried and told me that he's a fucked up person, that I'm his favorite person in the world, but he can't give me what I need right now. When I told him that we can no longer be friends because I need to protect my head and my heart, he cried even harder and begged me not to leave his life. This happened about 2 months ago, and we've had no contact since, but I can't seem to move on. I think about him all the time, every song, every joke, everything we laughed about together, the tiny idiosyncrasies of our friendship that I have never found with another person. He is truly one of my dearest friends, and I just can't see a life without him in it. I know I have 2 options, either lose him or never have him, but it just hurts so much. Do you have any advice for getting over a best friend you love both on a friendship and romantic level? I know it's stupid and unrealistic, but I still cannot help but hope that maybe one day he'll suddenly be ready, but I know that I'm a mug for waiting around for that to happen. I know you said you've been through a similar situation recently, so any tips you can have would be so appreciated. Thank you so much. Big love from a UK lover girl. Yeah, it's funny how our lives run parallel to each other here at Lover Girls Worldwide. Because, I'm in a very similar situation to you right now, obviously, as I've discussed. And a lot of other people are as well. This is a very, universal kind of experience. Having this, complicated, intimate friendship that in some universe could have moved forward, but in this universe it can't. And it's hard. It's hard because there's not a firm start or a firm ending. It's just it just is. It exists in this weird middle ground of both everything and nothing happening all at once. I just want to say that you should be so proud of yourself for setting that boundary of going no contact and not proceeding to be friends after this conversation because you knew that you couldn't do it. You should be so proud of yourself for setting that boundary, especially when the other person is begging you to stay and is not understanding of why you can't be friends. For me, it was very much a mutual call to go no contact. So I didn't experience that part of it. And I think it would have been so much harder if that did happen. So I just want to say I'm very impressed by you, and I'm deeply in admiration for your loyalty to yourself and your own boundaries of I cannot be friends right now after this. I can't just be, I don't know, so close to you, so intimate with you, knowing that this can't be more than this. I have to go no contact. I have to cut it off. Knowing that for yourself, having pushback from that and still sticking to your guns there and setting those boundaries is really awesome. And you should feel really good about that. And listen, I'm not that much farther ahead of you in this process. I'm 3 months no contact. So I don't know shit about fuck. I don't know anything. I'm simply guessing as I go. I really cannot offer you much insight. I can offer you camaraderie, though. Camaraderie and the knowledge that we are both sitting in this together. That is what I can offer you. And just it's hard. It's hard as fuck, okay? This in-between area. And in some ways, I've thought to myself, it's awesome that for me, and it seems like for you too, it was a mostly clean ending. It was there was no big blowout or big fight or big reason why things didn't work out. It was just it is what it is. This is where we're at. This is, what we're both capable of. We need to go no contact because it's just easier that way. And in some ways, it's great to have such an easy, friendly ending where I have nothing bad to say about my friend. Nothing at all. In some ways, it's great to have an ending like that. And in other ways, I've had moments where I've been it would be so much easier for me to process how I'm feeling if I had a reason to be angry. It's harder when you just have to sit in the middle ground of it all, in this middle space of well, it is. It just is what it is right now. And I don't know how to get rid of these feelings. And I also don't think that, I think it's sort of like a futile effort to try to get rid of these feelings. I just need to learn to sit in these feelings and move through them as time goes on. Like, I trust that I will know what to do, that I will know how to feel when the time is right. I'm just learning to like sit in how I feel and not rush through any of it. Like, it is what it is. I feel the way I feel. And who knows what'll happen in the future? I don't know. You don't know. They don't know. Nobody knows. But I think detaching yourself from any possible outcome is probably the best way to go about it. And I think time is the only thing that can do that. Especially without being like angry. I don't know, like anger changes the process of things. When you're not angry and you just have to like sit in the missing and the like what ifs and sit in, I don't know, just like the lack of it all. I think it just takes longer. And I don't really have anything concrete to say to you other than to say that I do get it and that I'm right there with you and that I don't think we need to change how we feel or really do anything at all. I think the best thing to do is just to sit in it and move through it and stay open-minded about what else is out there for you, and just trust that what's meant to be will be. And we will figure that out as we go. I am going to a dance class tonight. I'm so excited. I'm going to a hip-hop class. It's like 50 minutes. It's not a super long class, but I'm just like dying to do some choreography and to move my body and just to feel sexy. Okay, it's thirst season after all. I just want to feel hot. I want to feel hot and sexy and wanted, mama. Get me to the queer line dance space immediately. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out and submitting your stories, chatting it up with me. It really is the highlight of my week to get to sit here on this couch and go through the box. So thank you so much for submitting. Thanks for sharing your vulnerability with me. It means so much to get to share in this space with all of you and just be surrounded by other lover girls who feel deeply. All right. I love this corner of the internet, and don't you fucking forget it. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in next week's episode. Bye.